Hello, hello, hello. I am totally, completely addicted to this game, so of course I'm playing the new story quests the day it comes out. Let's go.
When I grow up, I'll be the strongest gladiator.
Try this art form, endorsed by Luca herself.
Muggy day. Sky's gloomy, air's all wet.
Man, that sounds familiar.
Oh, man. Please let me finish my sentence. Ugh. Cold, cold.
A hot meal should warm you right up. Okay. Well, we got the pizza on a plate right in front of us.
All right. I'm famished. We barely had a bite sprinting all the way here from Laguna.
Raguna.
Whoa, pinch me. This is a
Spaghetti?
feast.
Hell yeah.
Hey, Rover. So,
I do kind of agree with, there's another streamer I've been watching, and he doesn't particularly like Abby because, like, Abby doesn't really have his own motivation as a character, right? Like, and I think like, okay, you could say, oh, Abby loves to eat, blah, 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 blah. Okay, but you don't end up in the hand of a literal immortal god with the ability to eat Threnodians for no reason other than hungry. Like, you get there for a reason. So, I want to know what that reason is, and the fact that we're just supposed to, like, not talk about that at all, or not ask questions about that at all, or not be investigating that at all. Like, Abby doesn't even want to know why he ended up in that or it ended up in that position. I don't know, bro. Like, they really need to address that. But anyway, other than that, like, the character's fine. You know, I don't think their dialogue is that bad most of the time. Sometimes they're a little dense, but yeah.
Oh, that. Don't worry, money's not an issue.
Money is not
Augusta
an
made
issue.
sure we're covered. All our food and lodging here in Septimon is built straight to the F4's pass.
I don't remember us ever
But-
actually. I don't remember Rover ever actually interacting with Augusta. Maybe I'm forgetting something. Maybe it was part of the prize. There was like that one moment where we got the prize for winning the Gladiator games. Maybe that was part of it. I don't know.
I think the owner might have overdone it a little.
Better get used to it. You're the champ of the Great Aegon.
Well, of course they're overdoing it. They're getting paid by the government.
And you know me. Food's on offer. I'll be a Scot. Yeah. No leftovers. Guaranteed. Free stay. Free meal. The rapper really knows how to treat guests. Maybe we should, hang around a bit longer. This smells amazing.
Abby, what do you think Imperator wants me to find? If Cardiff is right, the last clues should be somewhere on the Sanguis Plateaus.
Sanguis Plateaus. The Sanguis Plateaus were once the Septimont front line against the Dark Tide. Due to the region's unique landscape, remnant energy gathers here in unusual density, along with a blight cloud perpetually looming overhead, formed since the first dark tide. During high tide seasons, gladiators from across Septimont arrive here to hunt dark tide creations in the name of glory. In the name of glory! Okay, so new region. I don't think we're going there yet in the Overture chapter, because this is literally just like, this is the same patch. This isn't a new patch. This is like 2.5 still, just phase 2 when they switch the banners,
We're so
basically.
close to the finish line. Just one step away. But our pace has slowed.
Relax. We're already back in Septimont. What's the rush? I remember Lupa said there's this weird blight cloud hanging over the Sanguis Plateaus. And when the high tide, or whatever, rolls around, all the gladiators go there to hunt tacit discords.
Can I just say, I appreciate this so much compared to comparing waves here, but like one of the biggest problems with Natland that I had was whenever you go into do the what do they call it, like the competition there, the pilgrimage, right, where all the warriors compete for the right to fight against the Abyss in Genshin. I'm just thinking to myself, okay, well, where are they? Where physically are they going to fight the Abyss? Like, where's the spot? Where is the battle line? Where is the front line for this? And even now, with all of Natland released, 5.8, Genshin Natland's over. Like, we're going to Nodcry next patch. There's no new Natland stuff. I'm still like, okay, well, where actually is the physical, like, battlefront? It's nowhere to be spotted. So, like, you know, they could have easily done the same thing in WuWa here and said, oh yeah, they just fight tacit discords that just pop up, and don't worry about where that is. No, there's a physical fucking region, a front line, a battlefield. Thank you. I don't even care if it's not like the greatest, prettiest zone in the world. As long as it's like an actual battlefield and they're like warriors actually go there to fight, like, and we can physically go there and see that, and it's not just like, you know, happy Mickey Mouse dinosaur land, I'll be happy about that.
Wait, is the high tide coming up soon? Yaffer's invite did say something about a big hunt. That reminds me. Are we supposed to meet her today?
A messenger came this morning. Augusta is dealing with an emergency, so our meeting's postponed. Looks like it'll be a while. An unexpected
Another emergency,
change.
huh?
It's throwing everything off course. I don't like the feel of it. And why me for this hunt? If it's about the Great Aegon, the messenger said none of the other gladiators were invited.
Who knows? Maybe she just wants to test her strength against you. Typical Septimont, right?
You think so?
Yeah,
I've
no.
met her a few times, but I doubt she acts on such simple impulses. And as the F-Word, can she really thoughtlessly do whatever she wants?
Guest from afar. You possess eyes as clear as crystal.
Yo, okay.
Troubles you so that eyes once bright as the highland sky now darken with rolling clouds.
We're getting hit with the music, the vibe, the barefoot desert walking oracle.
A warrior who walks the blade's edge does not falter over trifles. The clouds,
Dude, is
I may
that
guess, are
blood?
cast
No, okay, that's just face paint made to look like blood
at the
drips.
peak of Capitolini Hill, beneath the pale walls of the Ephes Palace. Secrets lie buried, and the most intricate among them are those born from the pursuit of power. Even one as honorable as the Epher must learn when to be ruthless. In Septimont, a city forged in iron and blood, anyone who seeks the throne without knowing the cost is no better than a lamb marching to the butcher's knife.
And you are...
I am Nestor, a traveling poet.
Nestor. Why? I feel like I've heard that
Gnomes in Septimont
name
are eager to leave this season. So,
somewhere else before, in a context where they were actually, like, the villain. But I can't remember where.
if you are curious about the effort, then allow me to say that nothing would honor me more than to offer even a modest service to the champion of the great Aegon.
Wait, how do you know she's the champion? And all that stuff about the F-War, too. Huh? Your eyes. Were we talking too loud?
To see and to hear are but two of the many ways to perceive. Trusting the senses is a habit, a natural expedience, but not the only option. Truth be told, I've been gathering inspiration for my next epic, and its protagonist is none other than Augusta, the Emperor of Septimont.
Please tell me this isn't just Cristoforo in disguise. That would be so lame. I actually hope that this guy is like the sort of good guy, quotation marks, foil to Cristoforo. I hope he's like has a similar ability of an equal and opposite vein. Because that would be super cool. Anyway.
That's why I speak of her with some familiarity. I have a feeling your tale with her will soon be written. And knowing more about those who walk alongside you is rarely without its benefits.
He even kind of sounds like Cristoforo. It could be the same voice. I don't know. Then tell me about Augusta.
Augusta. A girl of humble birth, a resonator of modest talent, a commoner without noble patronage. And yet, from the den of wolves that is Septimont City, she rose and eventually claimed her place. Just like the burning sun was once a cloud of dust.
Man. Just the use of ambient sound and music, the storytelling, the artwork. And it's a classic tale of common Roman peasant, common Roman nothing person, you know, commoner, common Roman commoner, I know. rises up through sheer merit and ability to become powerful from nothing. Perfect. Alright. Oh, what is this? Dear guest from afar, do follow me into the near-forgotten stories of Augusta, but simply telling it might be a bit dull. What methods do you have in mind? Perhaps having the listener become the protagonist of such stories might be a good option. This should add a more immersive touch to the sounds and images you've yet to hear and see. At this moment, you are Augusta. You shall relive her past, face the same choices she once made. Thus, please forget your name for now. Are we roleplay? Is this guy gonna canonically use some weird storytelling power, just like Cristoforo, to put us in Augusta's shoes? Of course, Augusta's story is already written. No matter what choices you make, they will not alter our reality. Yet, be wary. Fate is fickle, and a misstep can lead to a swift end. Weigh your choices carefully. Actually, okay, I still would prefer if this guy were like a counterbalance to Cristoforo, but if he is just Cristoforo in disguise, it could be an interesting way of getting a better look into the limits of his actual abilities. Alright, I understand. Well then, let the story begin. Set aside the complex thoughts and let me sing the epic of a young girl, Augusta. Take a deep breath. I don't know why they couldn't voice this part, too. I mean, anyway. A gentle, warm light begins to blur your vision, and you slowly close your eyes. When it clears, a small, frightened girl clutching a sword stands amidst the ruins. A group of solemn Septimontian gladiators stand guard around her. Hey kid, are you alone? Don't be afraid. We know what the Dark Tide did to your home, and we're here to help. Boldly observe the man in front of you. Okay, different choices will change the corresponding stats value. Interesting. You must be hungry. Here. This should be enough to keep you from starving for now. Take the food offered by the gladiator. We can take you to Septimont City. It's not safe here. We don't know when the next disaster will strike. Staring at these ruins won't change anything. Okay. Even if you rebuild these walls 1,000 times, they'll never hold against the Dark Tide. You don't have the strength to stop it. Bring your sword and come with us. Grip your sword with determination. The gladiators shake their heads and pat your shoulder. Follow them. Remember to maintain a stats balance. The story ends if a stat drops to 0. Okay. The story chapter is complete once the corresponding goals are met. In the end, you choose to leave the village. The gladiator's words revealed a bitter truth. You lacked the strength to protect the home you were leaving behind. In your travels, you engage with the gladiators. Following the gladiators, you arrive in the city of Septimont by ship. You wave them goodbye after arriving at the central square. Meanwhile, you notice the square is crowded with citizens. Remain quiet and anxious, or show your awe of the city. What do I think Augusta would have done as a scared little girl? Well, she's determined, so. A poster for the Gladiator's A-gun is pinned to the wooden board. The air is filled with heated chatter about the upcoming match. You draw closer to the crowd. You must know Septimont reveres strength. Here, only the victor reigns. That is a law older than the city itself. Okay, notice the passion of filled his eye. Notice the passion-filled eyes. Blech. Eat or be eaten. Such is the way of this city. To survive, you'll have to find your bite and seize the crown with your own teeth. Okay, looks like this is just, You can't stop thinking about their conversation. You realize that gladiators are the very symbol of strength in Septimont. If there's a way to dominate the arena, maybe you'll find the strength you're looking for. Oh, okay. Alright, let's pull the Giga Chad move, tear down the poster, and walk away. As you leave, you notice that 3 words stand out in the incessant chatter. Identity, status, and talent. They seem to be an essential part of gladiating. There are always those commoners who view the Aegon as mere boring displays of butchery. But we're hardly entertained by the sight of rats shrieking in the dirt. What we crave is true magnificence. A warrior who can make roses bloom from blood. Cold Septimont. Want to have a little bet on how many mangy rats are going to try for the Aegon this year? Them and their stench be stinking up the place. Slightly concerned about your status and talents. Okay. You are determined to step into the arena. The rules demand a mentor at your back. Someone to keep death from claiming you on the first day, and perhaps even teach you to see the fight through to the end. After hitting several dead ends, you eventually come across Kato. Kato is a retired gladiator star, but takes on a few proteges. So you want to join the Aegon, you say? Why don't you start by telling me about yourself? You recall the discussion about gladiators, identity, status, and talents. People in the city of Septimont seem to value these more than anything. You choose to speak honestly about your past. The dark tide took your home, and you came to Septimont seeking strength? Is that so? You've got some metal, but that's not gonna cut it here. Go home. People like you always show up with nothing but fancy dreams, only to see them crushed and trampled. I've seen enough of idiots like you. Try to argue. What now? Still here? You think your stubbornness will change my mind? Pathetic. Look Kato straight in the eye. Tighten the grip on your sword. Alright then. Let's have a duel. Land one strike and you win. If you manage that, I'll teach you how to be a true gladiator. The duel here is your entrance trial. Accept the duel without hesitation or after great deliberation. Blades meet in a sharp clash. Kato moves with practiced ease. You are quickly defeated. Strengthless. Do you realize how weak you are? I do. That's why I'm seeking power. Do you really know who you're fighting against? Can you really best me? You can't. Now how do you plan to end this? Challenge him again the next day. Back for round 2, are we? Country rats like you sure are as pestering as the city folks say you are, huh? Defend. Just like last time, you aren't much of a challenge to Kato. You are swiftly beaten once again. Go back. This is not your path. Continue the challenge on the 3rd day. Too slow. Too weak. Your foolish swings only bring smiles to your enemies. Then I'll be stronger. Is that your best? How naive. Well, I guess a rat that lives in the dark is never meant for the sun. Checkmate. You've lost. Of course you challenge him again. Still not ready to give up? Why don't you sell your sword? It'll get you some food at least. You stand before Kato again, dragging your exhausted body, nearly at your limit. I can still fight. The wind, swept up by the blade, whispers past, and you're suddenly home. Soft sunlight cascades on the great oak's leaves, and you hear your friends' laughter, your parents' gentle calls. But in the very next breath, a bone-deep chill engulfs you. That touch, you know it all too well. Thoughts race across your mind, and your hand instinctively gripped the sword hilt. I can't stop here. You seize the opening and land a hit on Kato. Kato hands you his sword and turns to leave. Catch Kato's sword. It's rather heavy. In Septimont's arena, the victor claims the weapon of the defeated. A symbol of conquest. This sword is yours now. Conquest. Victor. Okay, it looks like they both do the same thing. If you're determined to bite off that crown, do not fall before you Augusta. That's your name, isn't it? Yes, I am Augusta. The moment you step into the arena, you will lose this name. The spectators may brand you with a number, a symbol, or even the name of some wild beast. I am prepared. And only the last one standing has the right to reclaim their true name. By then, all will be chanting your name. Augusta. You'll have to conquer their hearts and win their applause, even without identity, status, and talents. Tell me, will I see that day? I will make them know my true name. Training starts tomorrow, 6 sharp, right here.
Fail enough times, and you might eventually succeed. Should we call it resilience? Or mere stubbornness? Or perhaps, for a girl who has lost everything, there was never a second option. She had no one to trust but herself, and naught but a blade to hold. And yet, as the first stanza of an epic, this is nothing extraordinary. Since the lament, across the scorched lands of Solaris, I've heard this story repeat itself, again and again. Greatness. Yes, our era has certainly seen it. But true greatness is never found on the first page of a story. Courage, glory, and honor. Such immortal virtues have been etched in tablet and stone. They are never forged overnight. Light as a thread, elusive as the wind, they weave themselves into every twist of fate, tangling with every insignificant choice we make.
What's wrong, Abby?
I don't know. It's just unbelievable. The Augusta he's talking about, and the F-word we saw in the arena. No way they're the same person.
A girl far from home, arriving in the city upon Capitolini Hill in pursuit of strength. No title, no status, no wealth. I doubt anyone at the time could have imagined her rising to where she is now.
No, there might be one.
Do you mean Kato? Do you believe Kato handed her that final victory on purpose, and that his scathing words were a test of her resolve?
Maybe he had long grown tired of that corrupt system.
Then Kato must have been an idealist, to place his faith in a girl with nothing to her name. Now, why don't we keep this question in mind and see where the story leads us?
Are you ready to listen to the epic of the blazing sun? Yup. Let's do it. Dawn breaks with a pale glow. A month has already passed under Kato's training, and today the grind continues. Stick to the training schedule. You arrive at the training site, repeating the same moves over and over again has begun to wear on your patience. You notice some gladiators training in moves you've never seen before. You decide to peek into their training. You reflect on your training. It was always you alone, facing the wooden post, patching yourself up over and over. Endure and push through. Days slip by, and the gladiator's Aegon draws near. Today, Kato will give you one final lesson. I've done all I can to prepare you. Now you're on your own. The training ends today. Here's my final task for you. Tell me, why do you want to become a gladiator? What pulls you through all this training? You already know the answer. Your ideal has never faltered since you left home. To be strong enough to protect others. You meet Kato's gaze, and he reads the answer in your eyes. Offer Kato your thanks. In the meantime, a flicker of desire crosses your eyes. You recall Kato's words from when this all started. By then, all will be chanting your name, Augusta. You'll have to conquer their hearts and win their applause, even without identity, status, and talents. Tell me, will I see that day? I will make it happen. You're aware that sponsors for the Gladiators Aegon are mostly nobles and wealthy merchants, figures beyond your reach, except, perhaps, in that underground arena. These are all top-of-the-line merchandise I got here. Care to have a look? Like products on display, you and a few other gladiators stand in the middle of the underground arena, scrutinized by nobles and wealthy merchants in the stands. One by one, those beside you are chosen and escorted away. Take a step forward. The audience cast their eyes in your direction. However, all you receive is constant laughter in return. Visions of your home's ruin flash within your mind. These laughs, so they really did have a hand in that disaster. The dark tide alone did not destroy your home. The rotten high places also played a part in your home's ruin. When the dark tide struck, those with power and wealth continued their life of indulgence and luxury. The might of the gladiators existed only to serve their desires. A fire of anger ignites in your chest. Does this, actually tell you? It highlights the stats it affects, but it doesn't tell you what it's specifically going to do to them. Okay. Well, well. A village girl with such unremarkable fort, dreaming of power and strength. I can't remember the last time Septimont had a joke this amusing. Try and you'll see. What can you offer? Prancing around like a circus clown and scrambling for your life so we can all have a good laugh? Or do you think playing innocent will win you favor? Don't underestimate me. anyone interested in this one. After all, watching the weak struggle is always a fine source of entertainment. You give the nobles a chilling stare as they talk in whispers. Entertainment, you say? In Septimont, strength defines worth. We shouldn't be so quick to judge a gladiator who offers herself. You turn your view towards the voice. With heavy steps, a well-dressed, old-school noble walks down from the stands toward you. He smells of rotten stench. It's unlike the smell of rats, as the Septimontians have put it, but a foul odor of power and wealth. Silently clench your fist. I engage only in profitable ventures. To stand in the arena, you must prove your worth. I have 3 trials for you. Survive them, and we may speak further, brave young lady. You accept the noble's trials, though trials is too fine a word for something intended only to break you. Outside the walls of Septimont City lies a wasteland plagued by the dark tide, your homeland. It's now different from the home you remember. They say a ferocious lion beast corrupted by the dark tide prowls deep within a cave. No common blade can cut through its skin. Your first trial is to slay that beast. The noble, however, decides to strip you of all equipment but a dull sword. A dull sword is more than enough. The mountain trail winds like a serpent. Among the charred tree stumps, dozens of bleached skeletons lie scattered. You suspect you're getting close as you continue forward against the unpleasant smell. When the first rays of sunlight split the clouds, the cave reveals itself, breathing death. Before you get a clear picture of the cave, a crushing force presses down upon you. Try to break free. Shh! Get down! You trying to get yourself killed? Hold your breath or you'll alert it. Do as he says. You turn around and see a hunter. Just then, a massive beast roars and walks past where you're hiding. Keep your head down. After the lion beast has left, you apologize to the hunter. It was thanks to him that the beast did not notice you. Going by these clothes, you're a Septimontian gladiator, huh? I used to be just like you. Lost a big match, got tossed out by the nobles, and ended up like this. We're nothing but their playthings. The skills honed for battle are now merely tools for survival. Septimont has abandoned the strength it desperately needs. You pity such reality. Ask the hunter about the lion beast. Only a madman would go after that lion. I have my reasons. His words are rough, but he eventually tells you everything he knows. You bid the hunter farewell and make preparations for the hunt. To gain more knowledge of your prey, you choose to silently observe the lion beast in the following days. After a few days, you've managed to grasp an overall behavior pattern of the lion beast. Thus, you march towards the deep cave. Deep within the cave's dark embrace, you tread softly. Then, a sudden dread freezes your steps. Between the flickering torch flames, a monstrous shape appears. The lion beast. Fire from the nether dances amid its golden mane, while claws like scythes tear wounds into the earth. Draw your sword and strike the lion beast. As expected, your sword fails you. It's ineffective against the lion. Before you can take a breath, the lion's thunderous roar storms you again. You decide to quickly analyze the cave's environment. Just before the lion beast pounces at you, you slash with all your strength at the stalactite above. It crashes down into the lion's gaping jaws. It still has the fight. It's not over yet. You land on its neck. It lunges to seize you, but your swift dodges force its claws into a deadly knot around its throat. Seeing your chance, you give a final pull, and the beast strangles itself in a frantic struggle. Finally, the trial has ended, and you drag your exhausted body towards the stream. Clear water cascades down into the mountain valley, and the dense forest slumbers quietly in nature's cradle. You rinse your blood-stained hands in the water. The clear stream slowly turns red. The birds scatter and the fish vanish. You sense the forest's unease at your presence. Are they afraid of my power? Are they afraid of me? The critter's panic plunges you into reflection. For the first time, you realize that power can instill fear. You desire more power. With no time to rest, you approach the nobleman again. He imposes the second trial upon you. What is it this time? Killing a mad beast is hardly an achievement. I'm sure you're aware, girl, that all the warriors of Septimont have 2 lives. Cato seemed to mention this before. One by their parents, and the other by their sword. You may consider the sword in a gladiator's hand as their life in the arena. For your second trial, bring me 100 lives. Yes, prove to me you are worthy of standing in the arena. Turn with disgust as you wave to accept. To get the admission pass for the Aegon, you start the second trial. Day after day, you fight gladiators of Septimont. As your reputation grows, so do the spectators. They don't care who you are, but only want to see when you will fall. Look, it's that girl again. Didn't think she would get as many wins as she did. Just look at the size of her. How will she even carry those swords? Focus on the opponent before you. You have grown used to this kind of noise. The deafening cheers numb your fatigue. Your sword now rests against your opponent's throat. Suppress your desire to kill. One by one, the gladiators you've challenged grow in numbers. Those you've defeated kneel before you, offering their swords, symbolizing their honor with both hands. Raise the opponent's sword. Even in Septimont, there's a limit to opponents that prove a challenge to you. Eventually, you will need to seek out tougher challengers. You have targeted Victor, a frequent champion of the Aegon from one of the noble houses. Do you have any idea who Victor's father is? His lordship is the largest sponsor of the Aegon. Power, wealth, those aren't things brute strength can rival. Victor has the best mentor, the finest weapon. Indeed. The house behind Victor comes to you with an offer. Perfect job and a substantial fortune if you walk away from the duel. Rip the contract. You reject the bribe without a second thought. Humiliated, the noble servant spits curses in your face. Respond calmly. You ignorant country peasant! Do you know what it means to refuse a noble? Then you shall suffer for your arrogance. When the time comes, don't expect any pity, as you won't be getting any. I, the scion, beside the servant. The scion silences the rambling servant and tears up the contract. Let's go. There's no point in talking sense into an ignorant fool. Then again, I'd appreciate it if you don't waste too much of my time in the arena. They throw a bag of credits as a way to humiliate you. Following it up with sarcasm and mocking gestures, they attempt to overwhelm you with their pride. You feel nothing. The day arrives. Victor accepts your challenge with his honor of nobility as the stake. You remember well the haughty look he wore a few days prior. But the nobles wield only words, not swords. Victor knows nothing about swordsmanship. You easily defeat the weak, incompetent scion and casually lift his pretty helmet with the tip of your sword. Approach the nobles' seats. I have won, and I achieved it without wasting your time. Do you see? Your gilded lies shatter before real strength. Step on Victor's helmet. I know I don't gain any stats, but fuck this guy. The crowd erupts in cheers and applause. The nobles, unable to deny your triumph, lower their heads. You return to your lodging to count your trophies. 99 swords, 99 opponents defeated. Now, only one life is left to claim. Most gladiators have long feared your reputation and dare not challenge you, except one. Aridel, the rising star of the underground arena. Unlike you, he was born with a powerful fort. He is undoubtedly the king of the arena. A sword tempered by countless battles is no less sharp. Even the old school noble is... Oh, right. Amidst the endless chanting of the name Aridel, you arrive as promised. Even the old school noble is present this time. As always, spectators crowd the arena. Your opponent's towering physique dwarfs yours, and his crushing presence brings to mind the fearsome lion beast. After several exchanges, you notice something unusual. The floor is too slippery to gain a foothold, and Aridel's armor is unusually heavy. You're all too familiar with the noble's despicable tricks. Looks like they both cost anger brews within you. You then shift your pace, luring Aridel into the very trap meant for you. After a few more rounds, his steps grow loose, his reactions sluggish. Seize the opportunity. Your sword stops just before the neck of Septimon's strongest gladiator. The entire arena falls silent, and almost immediately the crowd erupts into applause. Stab! 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 Is that so? Kill! 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 Right here? Now? Aridel closes his eyes and accepts his fate. Okay, well I need to get the willpower, so let's leave it there. In front of everyone's watchful eye, you only take Aridel's sword. You then bow towards the audience before turning to leave. You feel a sense of relief. Live! 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 Look back at the crowd and wave. Leave the cheers behind you. The next day, you arrive before the old school nobles with 100 lives. Aridel is merely made of Septimontian flesh. Above him stands a far greater force. I'm ready for the third trial. Your third trial is to earn the blessing of Arsinosa. Yeah, that's impossible without going into the arena in the first place, isn't it? Like, you have to win the Aegon, and the whole point of the trials was to be allowed to enter the Aegon? So, like... he never planned to let me pass the trial. I know Arsinosa. It has never tasted defeat. People say it's a peak no human can ever reach. The last wall of Septimont. I accept. It is this insurmountable challenge that stirs the thirst for victory in your blood. You accept the third trial, to confront the guardian of Septimont, Arsinosa. On the eve of the trial, you return to the training grounds once again. While you wait for Kato, you find yourself standing before the familiar wooden post. It has been your most enduring companion in your pursuit of true strength. Okay, I need both of those. Cut it down and leave the past behind. Well, not particularly an easy path, is it? Tell me, what did you learn from this path? Strength can be destructive. Strength brings conquest. Such is humanity's oldest rule. Augusta, I'll be there for your last trial, and I will call your name for all to hear. Thank you. Back in your room, you stare blankly at your stacked collections of swords. These trophies symbolize strength and conquest, but how will you show them to the world? You once heard the tale of a legendary gladiator, a warrior who would always fuse their opponent's swords with their own after victory. Now you decide to tread the same path and stand before the smithy. So this is how she gets that crazy sword that breaks into like a million pieces, and she probably uses her fort to use like magnetism to hold them all together. That's kind of fucking wild. Okay, what do these options do? Gaze at the flying sparks from the blacksmith's forge. You wish to demonstrate your strength, yet now you still seek to do this with power not of your own. Watching the blacksmith's hammer rise and fall, a seemingly impractical idea emerges. In the end, you use your fort to fuse all the swords into one. Feel the power! Your fort never stands out among resonators, but its seemingly insignificant power is enough to be stronger than the forge fire and the hammer swings. The day of the final trial has finally arrived. You walk to the arena's center with your newly forged sword. The bronze horns blare from atop the 12 stone pillars. All eyes are on you. Everyone is eager to witness how a human will rival the strength of Arsinosa. Survey your surroundings. Suddenly, a rumbling roar cut through the noise of the crowd. The nobles' banners flutter and fall. A colossal shadow swallows the sunlight around you. Arsinosa appears. I think this is probably a spender, but I'm going to do this anyway. Arsinosa's mountainous size catches your eye. Oh, okay, you get... It's awake! A noble shrieked. Arsinosa now stands silently opposite you. Slowly, its eyes open, coldly watching you. Focus and stay alert. With a sudden sweep of her tail, the lioness shatters the stone pillar. You roll aside, barely dodging the flying debris. A chill seeps through the tear in the cloth of your left shoulder. Take the initiative. The screams from the stands are soon drowned by the lioness' roar. A wave of sound and dust rips past your ears. You can taste blood on your lips and tongue. Ignore the pain and tend to the wound later. Her second attack comes without warning. You barely have time to react before your sword rises to meet her descending paws. Recall your encounters from previous battles. You managed to withstand Arsenosa's fierce attack. Holy shit, look at how much that's draining. Wow. And at the moment it withdraws, seize the opportunity to thrust your blade into the ancient crack in its right foreleg. Golden blood spills the arena. Steady your breath. Arsenosa ceases her attack, her mane brushing against your blood-stained face before she lowers her head. The arena shakes with applause. You hear the crowd chant your name in honor. I have passed the final trial. The voices, they are... Oh wow, that pumps that right back up. Okay, they're both the same option. O wise and noble Arsenosa, the mighty guardian of Septimont, bestow upon her the crown of courage and strength. Walk up the steps after Arsenosa. When the cries of triumph resonate with the earth, we see the fire of humanity blaze across Septimont. Wave after wave of applause, the Septimontians salute me as I advance. O sun and moon, witness this extraordinary feat. Witness her epic dedication to Septimont. Take another step forward. As the platform rises, you realize that by earning Arsenosa's blessing, you have been granted a privilege. They are all bowing to me. You are crowned the champion without the great Aegon. Nevertheless, you have already conquered countless gladiators with your strength. Under everyone's gaze, glory now bows at your feet. Silence the crowd. At last, you stand atop the summit, the champion. Only now, with battle fire cooled in your veins, do your wounds raise their voices in protest. You have shattered the decaying order with strength, and through strength you shall reshape new rules. You shall wield a gladiator's valor on the righteous path. You shall allow no more fragile lives to tremble before death. You shall ensure that your homeland's tragedy will forever be undone. Yet, should these new rules, forged by might, lose their foundation, will they not fall? A cold whisper of unease coils in your chest. Well then, no time for pointless pondering now. From this day forward, your sword, your honor, your 2 lives shall serve Septimont.
Merely the rough shape of a short epic. This is all I can offer about the F4. Now, as a listener, what do you make of my narration?
So, maybe I'm misremembering, but I thought in the earlier quests, Lupus said that Augusta had won the Grand Aegon, the Great Aegon. But this seems to be telling that she never even got to compete in an Aegon. At least not before... Like, I suppose this could have all happened before any Aegon she competed in. And maybe she competed in one after, but I'm not sure about that. I enjoyed it.
I appreciate your kind words, my generous listener. I am only a humble wordsmith, spinning verses and rhymes. The essence of poetry is granted by those who dare defy their fate. But there is one thing I must confess. Through my words, your knowledge of the Ephor is partial, at best. Poetry can only offer a glimpse of the true story, the reality of people, events, and things slips beyond the grasp of words. I do not belong in the pages of the epic, so I remain confined to the observer's gaze. I can imagine events and emotions unfold, but I cannot truly recreate them.
What a strange thing for him to say. Again, I'm wondering if this somehow relates to Cristoforo's ability. Whereas Cristoforo writes tales and imposes them, this guy is somehow confined to the observer's role, observer's gaze. Huh.
Here's some advice for you, though I hesitate to call it such. If you want the truth of a story, step into it. Become part of it. The opportunity stands before you now. As I've said, the tale between you and Augusta, the hero of Septimont, is only now turning its next page.
You seem to know exactly what I'm about to do.
It's not difficult to see. Fate flows like the stars, tracing their course. Your destination is written in the steps you take. The rain is passing. I hear it ceasing its symphony upon the earth. It is time for farewells. Before I leave, may I ask you one last question? What is it that has lifted Augusta to the seat of power? What is it that makes a ruler?
Well, I'd say strength. Let's be real. There's no way Augusta could have passed those trials without strength. Rover, what do you think?
You needn't rush to answer now. Keep it in mind as you continue your journey. When the final chapter is written, the answer will reveal itself.
And I guess I would also say, to clarify on that, the unyielding resolve thing, it's because you also have to have a vision of what to do with that strength that inspires people. Because you can be incredibly powerful and incredibly strong and not have a particular goal that other people want to follow, right? Because he was asking about what makes her a leader, right? You can be incredibly strong and lead people off the fucking cliff face. But, you know, you need to have a vision that's going to make them follow you, more than just being afraid of you. Anyway.
Farewell, my friend. Our paths crossed by fate and by chance. Soon, after this brief encounter, everything about me will be gone with the wind. But you, your epic continues.
Oh, that was a very sus thing to say. It makes me wonder, is he one of Cristoforo's creations? Huh. What? And who is this new guy? The previous day.
Your Excellency, you have indulged too much. As the priestess, you know is far too unruly in both action and word. It's a disgrace to her title.
Indeed. She entered the palace unannounced, uninvited, and with no decorum. A blatant affront to the authority of the palace.
Same as always. Senators, all she crossed was a doorway. One too insignificant to carry the weight of our authority, or defend anyone's fragile pride. Let us not forget, it is not the walls of Capitolini Hill that command fear. It is my will, my sword, and our relentless conquest. I know your fear. You fear a priestess's voice drowning yours, and a rebel challenging the Senate's rules. But listen well. Power does not bow to sycophants, cowering behind their traditions. If you seek power, then step from the shadows. Face me, and prove yourself worthy.
Hardcore.
Took you long enough, Augusta. Handling the senators takes time. You know that. Well, to keep our esteemed priestess from waiting, maybe next time I'll just leave them to their own devices. I'll make sure they record every detail of your feat, and relay it word for word to Grandmother Lilibet.
A highlighted word. Lilibet, the current head priestess of Septimon. Okay.
Priestess Iune. Unruly behavior left Tetragon Temple without permission, and trespassed into the Ephor's palace. I wonder, who will lose it first? Lilibet? Or you?
Let those old foxes report me all they want. If they step into the tetragon left foot first, I'll shoot the left. Right foot first, I'll shoot the right.
Hey, I'm with you on that one. The Senate should be reminded now and then that the Tetragon's kindness is not a reason to take Priestess Yuno lightly. Why didn't you wait there? I had everything handled. We depart for the hunting ground tonight. If anything changed, you could have reached me by my terminal. You didn't need to come all the way here. I want you free of duty until that day arrives.
You're overthinking it, Augusta. I'm here to see that person. Grandmother Lilibet said her fate is one of unknowable void. Sounds intriguing enough to make time for.
So that's it? Too bad. The ship from Laguna won't dock until tomorrow morning, and we'll be gone by then.
Ugh, what a hassle.
Patience, you know. The warrior has accepted the invitation. So, you'll have plenty of time to meet during the hunt. Is there something else you want to say?
I read Grandma Lilibet's book of prophecies. The hunt and our plan, neither end well. Are you sure we should go through with this?
Risk does not trouble me. Peril simply requires greater strength. But really, when did you start caring about the temple's traditions?
O ye faithless of Septimont, the divinity is enraged. Should your ruler defy their will again, doom shall be your fate.
Nice shot, including the Avenolium there.
Lately, I've been hearing murmurs from the nobles again, about the ancient prophecy from Raguna.
I will admit, those words once carried weight. But when our ancestors crossed the waters and climbed these hills, Raguna's divinity didn't get a seat on the ship. And the priestesses all said the prophecy was incomplete. Only the hero of heroes, wielding extraordinary power, risen from the dark tides, shall bring eternity to Septimont. Then shall the waters quiet, the tempest still, and glory return with the blood of the old king.
Hero of Heroes, the legendary ruler of Septimont. The legend traces its roots to an ancient prophecy that only the one who becomes the hero of heroes can save Septimont from falling into ruin.
Do not forget.
I wonder who that could be.
This is the other half of the prophecy. Fabius, Attilius, Valeria, one after another, these heroes have saved Septimont from the brink of ruin. As long as a hero stands, no disaster can break this eternal city.
What if this time is different? What if ruin is our fate?
Then I will sever that fate with my blade.
What's so amusing?
So, The fearless priestess Iuno can be frightened after all. But it's fine. If you're afraid, don't push yourself. I can handle this alone. Most revered priestess, wait for me in the temple. I shall return victorious.
Frightened. Me? If anything, it's you, trying to shut me out and face it alone. Fine. Go ahead. You'll come back to me sooner or later.
That I can't deny.
I knew it. So you do need me for this hunt.
Thank you. You know.
Why are you saying this?
The storm is coming. Come, you know my friend. The best way to greet a storm is to walk straight into it.
Well, I guess that was it for that. That was, for an interlude, that was pretty much what it needed to be. Now, I can't remember exactly what she said about the prerequisite for the hero of heroes. Like, obviously that's Rover. But the question, there was some, like, prerequisite that they had to accomplish. Like, I don't remember, but, like, it sounds like we're gonna have to do something in order to meet those conditions in the story, right? Yeah, I am definitely curious. So, Nestor, I thought he might have been one of Cristoforo's creations. Because Cristoforo, even though he's on the side of, you know, the Fraxidus, like, the Fraxidus aren't one-dimensional evil characters. They seem like they're just trying to accomplish a goal that would be a bad end for a lot of people. But, like, their motivations are very much their own. And it's, like, initially I thought maybe Nestor was Cristoforo's way of indulging us in this tale of seeing, like, what our reactions would be. But then at the end, when Nestor walked away and then dispersed into paper cranes in view of what looked like another Septimontian gladiator, maybe he had something to do with that gladiator guy. Maybe that gladiator was just an onlooker who happened to see it. Happened to see Nestor disperse. But it really does, the way he was talking and the references he made to the tale, the observer, not being able to truly express what happened in reality, how the story was already written, like, those are all very, like, Cristoforo Fort sounding references. So, like, the scene at the end where someone completely different watches Nestor disperse, maybe it really is somebody else, somebody not related to or somebody separate, somebody who isn't Cristoforo but is related to him, not, like, necessarily, like, brother, but, like, has a similar ability or is somehow connected to Cristoforo. Or it could just be that there's a totally random other person, other player, I mean, honestly, all arrows point to that just being Cristoforo, and maybe the guy who watched Nestor disappear at the end is just another Septimontian character who's keeping an eye on the situation. But we don't have, like, a definitive answer, right? It's not, like, literally laid out, so, like, we could speculate a little bit. Why Augusta and Iuno are headed to, well, left for the hunting grounds before meeting Rover? Like, obviously they expect to meet Rover in the hunting grounds. It's just, why did they need to leave early? Does beg the question what's going on there. And the unusual cloud above the like warfront region with the dark tide, right? I can't remember who said it or where, but they did specifically say the unusual cloud. I remember before that they mentioned that, you know, there was a normal cloud. So, were they just referencing that cloud that is normally there? Or is the cloud actually being unusual compared to what it usually is? That would make a lot of sense in the context of everything that's happening with the Threnodian. Yeah, so... And is that cloud related to the Journeying Paradise? That would, if it is, if it's like a cloud of remnant energy... I mean, clouds wander, they journey, so that could be the Journeying Paradise. It's all... There's a lot of questions. A lot of questions. And it does kind of make you wonder, what exactly... So, like, how exactly can we actually kill the Threnodian? Because even after Imperator used up... I think Imperator basically destroyed itself and fed the last of its untainted energy to Cardathia. But just there existing some other fragment of the Threnodian somewhere else enabled the Threnodian to survive. Right? Is my understanding. It could also be that normally that wouldn't be the case, but because Cristoforo had... Well, no, because Cristoforo only placed it in the story version of Rinascita around Lupa, once it showed signs of life, showed signs of containing the actual Threnodian. I think. I kind of remember them mentioning that the body was basically just a body until the events of the Inverted Tower, where we defeated Fleur de Lis and ultimately destroyed Imperator and destroyed the Threnodian, and only then did the remnant of the Threnodian inside Mia actually come to life. I think that's what they said. I could be wrong about that. And then they placed it inside the cocoon that was Cristoforo's story, which I guess was a Sonoro, but it seemed like a Sonoro that was kind of imposed onto actual reality at scale. And it kind of makes me wonder, like, what is this all in service of, right? Like, we don't really know... I mean, obviously we don't know the overarching goal of the Fraxidus. We know that they want to foster Threnodians and allow them to run free to cause a lament, but we don't really know why. Like, what is the goal of that? Like, with the depth and personalities of the Fraxidus that are involved, and how intelligent and able to manipulate the other Fraxidus the Grand Overseer seems to be, it would be way too simplistic of a goal for someone like that to just want to end humanity, because there's, you know, 1,000,001 other ways this guy could achieve that. So why specifically do it by bringing about Threnodians? There's something else he's aiming for, and I believe I've heard it speculated that he's trying to achieve immortality like the rover, like the Arbiter has. But I suspect there's still more to it than that, even. But it does kind of beg the question, what exactly... Because this Threnodian, Leviathan, is very weird. Like, the first Threnodian we saw in Jinzhou was just kind of like, you know, generic, big, powerful, bad guy Echo that is incredibly destructive. Right? It was just like, literally the massive stone body forming around it with the Dreamless as its core. But this one is like, we still haven't, unless you're counting seeing the fishtail that was attached to Imperator, we still have, this thing doesn't even really seem to have a specific physical form. We've seen, like, variants of things that it has corrupted, like, obviously, the fishtail on Imperator, the weird Morning Aches-like, fish-like body on Nia when Lupa fought her in the story. We've seen how it, like, creates corals, so, like, it has a theme, but it also seems like, I mean, when it died, when it, like, physically died as a part of Imperator, it was able to just instantaneously jump to, I guess, the gem that was in Nia's body, or on Nia's armor, the blue gem that she wore on her helmet, even though those two physical spaces were completely distant. Like, there was no physical movement of the thing, of Leviathan from one place to the other. So it's like, does it even have an actual physical body, or is it just like some kind of metaphysical set of data? Because that's kind of what it seems like. In which case, how would you even... Like, okay, conceptually, you could erase data from the universe, but how, in-universe, as Rover, as, like, these characters, would you even accomplish something like that? Maybe through... well, okay, we don't really know what the Nexus over here does. It just says the Sentinel's data hub, hidden among giant stones in the Veil of Glory. Okay, what's the data? Like, is the data something that can be overlaid onto Septimon? Is it like some actual foundational layer of reality, or is it literally just logs of, like, things that have happened around the area? Right? So, to kind of come back around to the original point, Leviathan is incredibly weird, and we still don't really understand what the end goal of the Fraxidus in bringing Leviathan specifically about is. I mean, we don't know what their true end goal is in general, but specifically, what do they imagine happening here? Or are they genuinely just experimenting to see what happens if Threnodian, if Leviathan, runs rampant on Rinasida? Right? Because we don't even know what the... Like, with the Jinjo Threnodian, we can easily imagine, like, what happens. Oh, the Threnodian breaks free and it uses its giant rock body to smash cities and kill everybody. But this Leviathan is super weird because it seems like it wants to... It doesn't seem like it has a physical form. It seems like it just wants to manipulate people at like a population level into destroying themselves. But it also uses the Dark Tide. So it's sort of a weird one. I guess it probably, if I'm thinking about it, the way it works is that its power is based on the worship and devotion that people have towards it. And it thrives on making them do destructive things to each other, because if they're that faithful, then their faith is incredibly powerful, and it makes it more powerful, and it makes it more able to manifest physically in Solaris. So, like, the question is, if it ever did achieve full manifestation, would it just rampantly sweep the Dark Tide across the land and kill everybody and distort their echoes? Or would it actually try to create a sustainable civilization where it caused people to inflict suffering on one another, but kept them alive to maximize the suffering? Like, how smart, how intelligent is this Threnodian actually? Because, like, so far, all the manifestations we've seen of it, like, when Lupa's talking to it through Mia, right, is that the Threnodian's mind speaking, or is it the corrupted mind of Mia altered by the Threnodian speaking? Same thing with Imperator when, and same thing with Cantarella's relative who became that weird kelpie thing in the sea, right? Is like, it seems intelligent, like, it seems human-like in intelligence, maybe more intelligent, arguably, in terms of being able to construct and build things. So would it really just sort of behave in an instinctive way and just wipe out humanity? Or does it have an actual goal that it wants to achieve? That's another big unknown. Maybe I just need to read more into it, but I feel like that's something that is still an unknown. And I feel like Cristoforo Frolova, the Grand Overseer, like anyone else in the Fraxidus, I think that they know, maybe not Frolova, but at least the Grand, and maybe not even Cristoforo, but at least the Grand Overseer, the fact that they're experimenting with this thing tells me that at least the Grand Overseer has some idea of what this Threnodian actually is and what it would do. And he's just trying to use that to achieve some end, along with other Threnodians, right? Like, there's probably a grander thing beyond just what Leviathan would do specifically. And I kind of wonder if, because the Threnodians all seem to have very different behavior and very different abilities, that... And are there a limited number of them? Like, how many Threnodians are there? Is it like there's a finite number? Is it like they can just pop up? Because they have been described as, like, the manifestation of human emotion as well. Like tacit discords, but on a much grander scale. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is there a finite number of them, or could he... Or are they just, like, generically Threnodians around? Or is there, like, a specific set of Threnodians whose abilities interlock to do something that only those sets of abilities could do, that the Grand Overseer is trying to accomplish? And if so, how does Threnodian tie into that? And, you know, again, what would happen to the people of Rinascido? What would that actually look like? And I mean, maybe we kind of got a glimpse of that inside Cristoforo's story, where the Threnodian won, and Lupo was just wandering this dark tide, dark mist-infused wasteland where apparently everyone was dead. Well, I'm going to stop speculating for now and just go back to... Do I have enough for another pull? No, I don't. I blew all my saved pulls trying to get Cantarella because now I have 2/3 of a Havoc team. And even though I really, really want... Augusta, like, I'm definitely pulling for Augusta. I might even spend for Augusta. I figured if I could get Frolova, Rochia, Cantarella for my Havoc team, like, having a 4th element for endgame teams is not a bad thing. Gives me a little bit of flexibility, and I mean, I have Frolova's weapon, I have... you know, everything that I need for that. And I actually got Rochia by accident the first time she came out. I was going to pull for Jinsei, and I clicked the wrong banner when I was on... Like, I had already lost my 50-50 for Jinsei, and I just kept pulling for Jinsei. And I was at, like, I don't know, 65 or something like that out of 80 pity on free polls. And it was like 3 a.m. or whatever, and I just, without thinking, clicked the wrong banner and got fucked. But you know what? If I can get Cantarella, if I can get a Havoc team out of that with Frolova, like, I'm fine with that. Because Rochia... Like, a lot of people, I remember videos coming out at the time saying, oh, she's cooked, oh, she's terrible, oh, whatever, blah, 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 I don't like the aesthetic. But, like, dude. I'm sorry, but, like, let's just charge up a... Okay, let's do the actual thing. This? Figure empty! That is so fun. That is just fantastic. Like, you literally just suck in all the enemies, so you've got grouping right there, and you get to do this big pogo stick, and she's so fucking Italian when she does it. It's amazing. Like, I was... Honestly, when I first got her, when I first got the pull, I kind of quit the game because I was so pissed off that I had, like, made one accidental pull and gotten the wrong character. But you know what? If I can get a full Havoc team with her, Frolova, and, like, Cantarella as the healer, I know I could use Donjin, but then I have no healer, and I'm not that good at this game, let's be honest. But yeah, that is actually such an incredibly fun... Like, Mamma Mia, Viventi, Figurenti, Papa Pia. Like, it's just fun. And of course, Pero. Pero! Like, it's just a fun character, okay? Like, I'm normally weirded out by kid characters. Because, like, the way Genshin does them is, like, they're basic. But this is, like, actually super cool. It's super fun. It may not be the best thing. It may not have been the meta. But it's cool, you know? It's just cool. Alright, well, I am going to end it there. Thanks for watching.